How's it going, everyone? Bizarro Mike here. We made it through EVO, but the grind doesn't stop for the CPT. However, I want to take a step back for a moment and congratulate Problem X officially for winning EVO 2018. Big win for him in his young career, and a big win for, of course, the European region, especially the UK. What a fantastic top 8, and what a performance he put on through the entire weekend at EVO. So shout outs to Problem X and all of his family and his friends who, of course, they were there in attendance. Many of them were there in attendance and just incredibly excited to see him win the big one on one of the biggest stages of all of fighting games. But I also want to thank everyone who showed up to compete, who worked the event, the volunteers, and of course the viewers. We had great viewership. Our viewership continues to grow throughout this year on the Capcom Pro Tour, so we're very excited and very appreciative for everyone who's tuning in to these live streams and these events. Thank you very much for supporting us. I actually managed to come back from EVO with a few interviews, had the wizards, the technical wizards edit these videos, and today I'm going to share with you on this Wake Up Wednesdays, I'm going to share with you an interview with Jakyo, who's the first time she commentated at EVO for the first time. Very exciting for her. She did a great job, of course, with all of the staff there, and as well as the only American to make top 8 this year at EVO, Cool Kid. So he's had a great run since last year, and it's really exciting to see him do more work on the Capcom Pro Tour, get out to more events. So I really hope you enjoy those two particular interviews. That's in this episode, but make sure you stay tuned. Thursday and Friday, I'm going to be dropping an interview with Seth Killian, one of the voices of Street Fighter and EVO, as well as RobTV, who you might remember is one of the challengers from ELEAGUE. Really fascinating interview with him. I think he's got a great personality, and really looking forward to sharing with you some of the things we talked about, as well as Seth Killian, who is a great Street Fighter mind, and of course a longtime member of this community, and it's always great to talk to Seth. It's been a couple years actually since the last time I've kind of had a sit down with him. Anyways, I hope you enjoy this video. I hope you enjoy the videos coming up. Make sure for all your updates you follow at Capcom Fighters on Twitter, and of course you can tune in to the live streams of our events. Taiwan Fighter Major just took place. Sako holding it down for the old men, the family man, won that event, so congratulations to him, of course. And coming up, we have Esports Festival in Hong Kong, so we're really looking forward to seeing what happens there and how the rest of this Capcom Pro Tour plays out in 2018. Capcom Cup is looking delicious. By the way, I know a lot of you have been wondering, we do have some information coming soon, trademark soon, about Capcom Cup, so please stay tuned to @Capcom Fighters on Twitter for updates on the Capcom Pro Tour and Capcom Cup. Thank you very much, and we'll talk soon. What's going on, everyone? Michael Martin here, Bizarro Mike, with Jakyo. You just, I literally pulled you off commentary.
I know.
Like, the matches were done, and I pulled you right over.
Yeah.
I had to get your perspective. First of all, is this your first EVO commentating?
This is my first EVO where I'm a commentator, yeah.
How do you feel?
I'm just so happy that they chose me. Like, it's such an honor. Like, this is like the most important, okay, I'm gonna get emotional. It's like really
you can
big.
Cry, it's okay.
No, I don't want to. I can't believe it, I got to commentate EVO. I'm so excited. It's so great. It's like the best tournament in the world. No. I'm good.
Do we need a moment?
No, I'm good.
All right. You're paired up with F-Word, who's actually not a bad guy to be paired up with.
And
yeah.
I got to say "Oh my days."
Oh really?
Yeah. I was like, "Can I say it? Can I say it?" And I was like, "Oh my days."
What stood out to you today?
Honestly, how many people got sent to losers? Okay, Knuckle Dew from Alex Valles Blanca. I was like, oh, okay. And then I had to commentate Punk getting sent to losers. I'm sorry, I'm still emotional.
Right.
Don't make fun.
It's all right.
But like, the upsets, I was so shocked.
Given that experience with a tournament of this scale, because it's obviously very different from playing like a local, right?
Yes.
Or like even like a larger event like a Canada Cup or an SCR.
Yeah.
Based on what you've seen and what you've seen other players go through, What's it like competing in this kind of environment and having to go up on stage and yeah, there's the threat of like, yeah, you can just drop into losers just like that.
I mean, there's definitely like a gravitas that hangs in the air at EVO. Like if you go to Canada Cup, it's really comfy. Like it's so warm and cozy, you know, it's the last big tournament before the Capcom Cup. But here it's like cutthroat tension from waiting in line at 7:30 in the morning to thinking, am I going to be warmed up enough? Am I awake enough? Does it matter? Because there's so much going on in Vegas. The tension is super high. And everyone, even though this isn't Capcom Cup and this is a premiere, I find people take this the most serious. And at your locals or your monthlies, like there's lots of yelling, there's lots of banter. And here it's just everyone's like, what is going to happen? And also, let's follow Daigo everywhere.
This is very true. I was interviewing Alex Valle earlier, and by chance, someone else was interviewing Daigo, and they finished up, and he like crashed it, and it was perfect. It is literally let's follow Daigo everywhere.
He's got cheerleaders.
He does have cheerleaders.
Yeah, they hired cheerleaders to actually
like real legit cheerleaders, like not us, like actual cheerleaders.
Yeah. And they're gorgeous too. Like I was like, oh, that's why I'm a commentator.
Stop it. Of course, we heard good things about the commentary. What do you want to see going forward? Because I know you still have some. Everyone still has work to do, including you.
Yeah.
So you still have some work to do tomorrow.
Definitely.
What do you want to see going forward with the rest of this tournament? What do you? I don't really want to ask you what you expect because all the unexpected things can happen at EVO.
It's 2 for 5, yeah.
Exactly. But what do you want to see going forward?
Honestly, going forward, I want to see more positive attitudes towards gameplay, and I want to see if people do want change in FGC and games and stuff like that, have some kind of summit, like have a conference, get together, get people together, start talking. And I think what we need to do is start talking more constructively instead of what I've been usually seeing, because everything has problems, but I'm like, I think we can approach it in a new way, and I think season 3.5 is a good opener to approach things. I think there's lots of improvement that's been made, and it can only just keep going. I'm always hopeful because I'm a Third Strike player, right? Like it took 3 iterations to make such a good game.
You're right.
Same with Alpha. Alpha 2 and Alpha 3 are told.
Alpha 2's pretty good.
Do you love Alpha 2 more?
I love Alpha 2.
Yeah, it's so honest. It's so honest. But I mean, look at how different those games are, right?
They're way different. I mean, the difference between like going from like a second impact to Third Strike or an Alpha 2 to Alpha 3, like Alpha 2 was to me like peak Street Fighter. This, you know, what's that meme? Like this is the peak.
Kino. The most Kino of games. No.
But Alpha 3, they're just like, hey, let's just throw everything in this. Like, all right, all the isms and the infinites. But like going from second impact to Third Strike, yeah, there was a huge leap. I think in gameplay.
Overhaul, the HUD, character selection,
all of it.
Everything.
The soundtrack.
Yep.
But when you see, I think when you compare like. For 4 and 5, we just see these iterations where it's less about making the major changes that impacts the game, and more about like let's retool this as we kind of go along. We see that with each season and characters and whatnot. I guess, given that you mentioned that, and given what we've seen so far, what would you like to see in the next season or another, I guess, iteration of 5? Like how much change or what kind of change would you like to see?
The only thing I would like changed is the punishment system. Because like if you play Street Fighter 4 and you get punished, you're just woken up a little bit. But I find crush counters, like it's literally like you're like, oh my life is gone. So that's one thing, but I don't think that's like, yeah, that's like the most life-changing thing that would happen in the game, just the crush counters.
Do you have a favorite this weekend?
I have who I think is most consistent, which is Fujimura. So that's why I want to make safe bets this weekend if I side bet. You know?
Vegas, you can't make safe bets.
Okay.
Who's your not safe bet? Okay, let's we've officially got you down for Fujimura.
Okay.
But who's the not safe bet? Like who's the one deep down in your heart? I know.
Daigo. I want to see the Daigo win because Daigo's downloaded Fujimura.
Okay.
And I want to
But
believe.
is that like the deep down, like, is that the not safe bet? I mean, I feel like Daigo's probably going to be up there, right? Man's made a few top 8s in his time.
That's true. That's true. I don't know. NL's kind of fresh, right?
Yeah.
He's fresh. I would that would be fun.
I think he's due. Like, that guy
Yeah, he's coming up.
was like every top 8, but just hasn't quite.
But hasn't. This is a mark maker, right? Like people don't. I can't go back and think of like the history of other premieres, but you can think of the history of EVO all the way back. Like you are always recognized. Yeah. So that's why I think it's important. This is the win.
Takedo?
When you want. Oh, Takedo winning again? That would be wild. He could do it. Akuma's fantastic.
I mean, he's pretty fantastic anyway.
He's got a good butt. That's my
Whoa!
That's my background on my phone.
What? Are we doing this?
For a year.
Oh, yeah.
For a whole
year,
I believe.
All right. So even though you have Takedo on your background, you're going Fujimura and Daigo.
Because I want the consistent bet. Okay. I want to make money this weekend.
All right. Talk to me a little bit about, and of course, Canada's a very large country.
Yes.
And there are, numerous scenes, just as there are like in North or the U.S. and anywhere else. But I'm not sure that we look at Canadian scenes. Yes, there are very strong players, right?
Choose your words carefully.
Yeah, I mean, and look, it's not that it's not that they're bad, right? Like, yes, there are very strong players, but I don't know that we necessarily maybe respect Canadian scenes.
We haven't seen results yet.
So what's the deal? Like, what can get Canada, any Canada scene, whether it's Montreal, Toronto, Vancouver, what gets them over the hump?
Honestly, they need to just travel. But it's very tough, right? Like, it's very tough to make this into a career, especially with the Canadian flights are not forgiving whatsoever. EVO could cost you $1,000. Flying to Japan could cost you $1,000. So that stands in the way. Also, the scenes aren't as large. The state of California alone has a higher population than all of Canada. But that being said, I think that our players who are good are quite memorable and they really could do big things. It's just them choosing when they want to show up and do them. Which DreamHack Montreal? We bring everyone to us. Yeah. Team Canada had a really good year. 2013, OCV Team America, right? But it's Street Fighter 4. We still haven't made our mark in 5.
It's gotta happen.
Yeah, Chai Rithi.
Right, Chai Rithi?
Haven't done anything.
It's got to do something. All right. So you got to commentate with F Word, but what's your dream pairing right now?
My dream pairing, honestly, because we have such good banter, Z.
Yeah?
It would be
Have you commentated with him before?
No, never. But we talk all the time, and he always calls me the FGC Cougar because I'm old, but I'm still here.
You're definitely not old. You're definitely not as old as I am.
Call me the Vancouver this morning instead of Vancouver.
I'm not sure we can put that in this, but that is actually pretty good.
It's good.
That is actually very good.
It's not pejorative.
Yeah.
But I'm not Capcom, right?
Okay. Let's close this out with, I feel like sometimes this is a topic that's sort of maybe beating a dead horse, but, and I don't want to talk about how do we bring more women in the FGC? But what I do want to talk about is the ones that are here. For the most part, I think there are a lot of them that do a very good job at sort of being the leader. But what do you want to see? What do you think? What do you want to see from the women that are already here that can help this sort of grow? Not just, I mean, to me, it's not just about bringing women in, but I think it's just about growing scenes in general, right? We want everyone to be a part of this. Yes, we want more women in, but what do you want to see that can help this thing grow in all different areas?
Well, okay, what I personally try to do in Canada is I set up interesting games that would appeal to my certain friend groups. So they don't like fighting games at all. But if I throw on Injustice 2, they're like, whoa, Harley Quinn, whoa, Poison Ivy, I love that. If I throw on like an older Street Fighter, they're like, oh, graphically, this is really interesting. And I'm like, yeah, these are sprites, like this is this. What I like to do is, start first with interest on just like try out everything. What do you like for a fighting game? And then second of all, I like to give incentives to go. So when I run events, I like to do a ladies venue fee. So it works for the club scene where they have a ladies fee and it brings in business. So I think that same type of model can be applied. Some say it argues favoritism, but I mean, it's already established in other industries. And just due to the population size, I think it would really help. So if like EVO was like $50 for regular spectators and $25 for ladies, that is a perfect thing to, if you're a male player and you're heterosexual, invite your significant other and be like, you know what, you can come for $25, see what it's about. And when you're in the scene, in Street Fighter 2 especially, it's so easy to get sucked in because they're so positive and they're like, yes, try our game, like come, let's make it grow. And like Street Fighter 2 is viable again. It's even a huge side tournament here. So I think it's really important just to do little incentives, and then once the population has grown, you can raise prices again. Then you're like, okay, we did it.
Any final EVO thoughts?
Any final EVO thoughts? Oh my God, I made it. Hi, Mom. We did it. Hey, Canada, we in there. We did it.
Jakyo, thank you.
Thank you.
Congrats on making it to the, I guess, to the big stage? Behind the big stage? On the commentary desk at the big stage?
With F word.
With F word?
Ambitious tomorrow.
Nice. All right. Not a bad pairing. Again, congrats. It's great to see your career grow as it has in the last, year or so, couple years. I mean, I think we've all noticed that you've made some big strides, and that's really good to see. It's really good to see the fresh faces, of course, and of course the diversity that we want to see in esports and fighting games.
I didn't get hired because I'm diverse. I said
no.
Only base it on my work, please.
Yes, yes. But we like to see those fresh faces or those different faces, and I think that's a good thing.
Yeah.
So again, congrats, and you got more work to do tomorrow. So you ready?
I'm ready.
All right.
Always.
Jackie, thank you so much.
Thank you.
Pleasure as always.
You too.
Jackie, I'm Bizarro Mike. See you later. What's going on, everyone? Bizarro Mike here with my man Cool Kid, and by the time you see this, you're gonna know the results. But let's just soak this in, because I feel like this needs to be said out loud. Cool Kid, EVO 2018, top 8. How's that sound?
Oh, it sounds real good. It sounds crazy at the same time, but surreal.
So, I mean, as competitors, I think the idea is like, yeah, I'm gonna come in, I'm gonna do the best I can. I want to win. I want to make top 8. I want to win. You obviously have more work to do, but talk to me a little bit about you're in top 8 right now versus maybe what your expectation was, even when you woke up this morning.
So coming into the event, I'll rewind a little bit. So originally, after we had booked the hotel, for whatever reason, I got a little, emo and almost didn't want to come.
Wow, really?
Yeah, I almost didn't want to come. I didn't believe in myself, and I kept feeling like, we spend so much money to go out to these tournaments, and then we put ourselves behind on bills and stuff just for the sake of getting me out here. And I started feeling bad, I haven't been doing good. I haven't been making top 8s. We might as well just save our money and just better prepare next time. But talking to Joy, the best wife ever I had, as she was getting frustrated too, at the same time, she believed in me, and she told me, to just give it all you got. And I felt the same way. After a while, of course, I was just like, all right, well, we already paid for the hotel, so we might as well just go out here, do our best. But the main thing that I did the whole way here, the whole way while I was playing, is I was praying. Every time I went up there, I prayed. I made it known, what I wanted, out of this. And I literally kept saying it the whole way through. I was just like, God, let me get top 8 winners. I said it the whole way through. And then when I ended up losing to Gakuken, I was like, well, God, maybe top 8 losers. Okay, I'll take that instead.
Settle for that?
Yeah, I'll settle for that, And, I feel like without him, I wouldn't have been here. So I thank God for that. And I say my wife, of course, Joy, just always support me. And it's just surreal. This tournament, it's one of them things you see, you envision it in your head, but actually seeing it in reality and it's actually happening in this moment is just like indescribable. It's amazing.
I believe it was against Jakyo. You know, you could kind of see the emotions kind of settle in. You know, you kind of took a moment, and it's almost like you could kind of see, like, in your reaction, like it might be slipping away. And of course, you persevered. You had to play Shan, a former EVO champion. Talk to me about going into that match. Like, you got to beat him to get into top 8.
When I lost to Jakyo first, I was just like, you know, everybody saw I was just like devastated, especially because like out of all the times I missed my meaty, it was at that moment right there. So, you know, because I say I was praying the whole time, like winners, you know, I was making it known, EVO 2018, winners, top 8. I kept saying it. And then it's like when I lost, it was just like, that was what my mind was set on the whole time. So when that happened, I was just like, is it over? Like, I was just so stuck on that. But everybody was making sure, made me like not be salty too long, you know, and mad about, because that's one thing I feel like that happens sometimes for me. Like, I will lose and then I feel like it's the end of the world, it's over, even though I still got a chance. And everybody's like, you know, you still got one match. So I started to calm down a little bit. You know, everybody like, just don't think about it. You got one more match. Don't think about that previous match. It happened already. So I still was just like, God, I trust you, and we still finna go out here and do this, you know. And I always feel like, you know, I don't try to put no player on a pedestal. They gonna fall for stuff just like anybody else would. So all the stuff I was doing when I was playing him, I'm like, I'm not gonna not do it because it's, you know, whoever. So I just went in there and played him like, you know, anybody else. And it was times I was dropping stuff in that match that I normally don't even drop. And it bothered me, but I was just like, keep it together, keep it together. I was like, we can do this, keep it together. So once I started slowing it down and I saw he wasn't like reacting to stuff I was doing, when it got to that moment when I did the last move for the win, it was just like, I almost didn't get up. I thought like maybe it's another match or something. Like, it was just like, I couldn't believe it, like, to hear that.
Was it the last move, or was there a moment in that match where like the reality set in, like, I got this?
When I did the back heavy punch and he didn't quick rise, and I looked at, he didn't have no meter, so I'm like, if I do the standing heavy punch, he literally cannot do nothing right now. So at that moment, you know, and I was just praying, I was just like, please do not let this be a mistime meaty right now. So when I saw the guard break, I was just like, oh my God, like, I really just did it.
Marcus Redmond, Cool Kid 93, you're in top 8 at EVO 2018. I really appreciate talking to you. You're probably one of the most humble guys that plays Street Fighter, one of the most humble guys that I know. I wish you continued success. Like, as we know, you have a lot more work to do on finals day. I guess my last question to you before we sign this off is, what are you gonna do to prepare for finals day? How do you go into a day like this? Like, this is, I guess, not to put any pressure on you, but this is the biggest day of your life at this point, right?
So, I'm definitely gonna look at, so it's easier now. It's like a handful of people left. I can easily look at videos and kind of get an idea about all of them. But I'm, of course, gonna pray like I did, you know, before I came in today. Because once I pray, I feel like I got a little bit of more, you know, relief. You know, I feel like it's already done. Whatever happens, you know, it's not, you know, it's beyond my control. I prayed, and if the outcome still happened, but, you know, despite what I prayed for, then I know it all happened for a reason.
Congratulations. Good luck tomorrow. And you know what? I don't know if it's set in, but you're USA's last hope. So again, not to put pressure on you, but it's all on you. Congratulations. Good luck, and we'll see you tomorrow.